Quite the scoop. Your boyfriend got married. You must be proud.
I am. Proud, I mean, because Steven and I are. We're not officially.
Haven't you been on a date 3 Saturdays in a row?
Well, yes, but.
Sounds like a boyfriend to me.
Any news, Selma?
Based on the eyewitnesses' recanted testimony, Mr. Logan has been released and a new trial ordered.
Are you confident about the retrial?
I believe justice will prevail, and my client will be exonerated.
And Mr. Logan, how do you feel about this development? Like a man who's breathing fresh air for the first time in 3 years. Do you have anything to say to the Toronto Police Force? Yeah, they railroaded me for that girl's murder. What they did was wrong, and I intend to set it right.
All right, that's enough.
So, this woman, she worked as a sales girl at the Eden's perfume counter?
Christine Mayfield. But Logan always insisted he was innocent, and now the evidence used to convict him is in question. Frankly, it's mortifying. The police did such a shoddy job.
Sorry, Mary, but no surprise there.
Police screwed up again?
That's where you're wrong. Derek Walston, Christine Mayfield's uncle.
We're so sorry for your loss.
Well, I don't need your sympathies. I need you to prove Logan's guilt.
But the judge just
I
said...
don't give a hoot what the judge said. Logan killed Christine, and I'm not gonna let him get away with it. The question is, will you help me?
Why don't you give me your telephone number, and then Frankie and I will discuss it.
We don't need to. We'll take the case.
So Mary is going to see if she can get a copy of the original police file, but Stephen's article really lays out the case.
Should we really be doing this, Frankie? Pursuing an innocent man doesn't feel right.
Now, if he is innocent.
Wilson hasn't given us a single reason as to why Logan's guilty.
If it doesn't go anywhere, I'll drop it.
Okay. Talk me through the case.
All right. On May 9th, 1921, Christine Mayfield left work with her co-worker, Connie Reynolds. They walked together for a short time. Then Christine took a shortcut through the park. The next morning, her body was found in a pond, strangled and drowned.
So what made the police suspect Logan?
They found boot prints in a bottle with his fingerprints close to the body.
And then Connie ID'd him in a police lineup?
That is a lot of evidence.
But then she recanted her testimony. That's not nothing. We have to talk to her, Frankie.
She's gonna be here any minute. Do you mind?
Wait, where are you going?
Well, Flo, pull the autopsy report. I want to take a look.
Come in. Do you still believe it was Ernie Logan you saw that night?
Like I told the judge, I can't say. Not for sure, anyway. I like those paintings of the mountains. Is it the Rockies?
Those are actually photographs of pyramids.
Oh, yep, those are the pyramids, all right.
Connie, how long have you been wearing glasses?
I bought these a couple months ago. Took me years to save up. Truth is, I'm half blind without them.
According to the autopsy, Christine had a high level of alcohol in her stomach, likely gin.
Maybe she went somewhere after she left Connie?
Or maybe she drank with her killer.
There was a bottle found at the scene. Are these ligature marks?
Yep, she was tied up at some point, but when they found her in the pond, her hands were free.
Any idea what she was tied up with?
Whatever it was, it cut deep, but there is nothing about it in the file. I'll see what I can figure out.
We really could use something.
New evidence in a 3-year-old case. I am a morgue attendant, not a magician.
You never know. You might pull a rabbit out of your hat.
Thanks.
What's Mayfield's file doing on your desk?
That ain't any business of yours, McIntyre.
You were the investigating officer. Let's stay clear of the case now that it's set to be retried.
I was just checking on a detail.
You didn't hear me. I'll keep my eye on this from now on.
Good idea. Can't be too careful.
You got that.
We've got him, right? Don't we, Logan? I mean...
Dead to rights. We matched his boot prints to the scene, and his fingerprints were all over a bottle we found near the poor girl's body.
Oh, you don't say. What kind of bottle?
It was identified by Detective Lyle as being from some place called Bridley's. Logan moonlighted there as a delivery man.
Well, that's pretty damning evidence.
Amen to that.
Yeah, Ernie Logan's worked for me. So, who are you?
I'm a private detective. I was hired by Mr. Logan's lawyer.
Oh, well, obviously not much of one. Ernie spent a long time in custody for something he didn't do.
Are you sure about that?
Who's ever sure about anything? But he was working for me at the time. Nights.
Even the night in question?
Probably.
You spoke up for him in court.
Of course I did. He's a friend. That's what friends do. You wouldn't do the same?
Not if my friend committed murder, no.
Well, you might feel different depending on someone who was murdered. Hey, speak of the devil.
Hey, Bert. Come from a little job back.
You got it. Your lawyer's investigator was just leaving.
Frankie Drake. It's nice to meet you.
You're working for my lawyer, are you?
Mm-hmm. They're pulling out all the stops to create a top-notch defense.
Oh, you missed the part about lunch being a half hour, Miss Ohanian?
Sorry, sir.
Miss. Still looking for the right man, eh, Stella? You're getting a bit old to be so picky.
Good to see you back, Ernie.
Hey, look here, sweetheart. I don't know who you really are, but I fired my lawyer the minute I hit the bottom of the courthouse steps. So why don't you drop that charm and beat it?
Suit yourself.
You met Logan?
Yeah, he made me right away.
Doesn't make him a murderer.
How's Connie?
Blind as a bat without her glasses, which she didn't have on when she ID'd Logan.
Oh.
Gals. Okay. I have not seen the file yet, but I do have a scrap of info. The beer bottle found at the scene was from a place called Bridley's. Logan used to work there as a delivery driver.
Yeah, okay, but Flo said that the high level of alcohol in Christine's system was likely from gin, not beer.
And if Logan delivered beer, he could have easily gotten his fingerprints on any bottle.
Yeah.
But it still proves he was in the park that night.
That's not enough. Walston is going to expect airtight evidence. So is the judge.
What about the boot prints? Between that and the bottles in the park, it's a pretty compelling case.
We should take a look. Do you think you can get into the evidence locker?
I can try. I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to look at the file yet. Detective Lyle was working on it, but then Detective McIntosh took it away from him. He said Lyle shouldn't go near it, what with the retrial coming up. Anyway, it was a whole thing, but I'm hoping I should be able to check it out today.
That's what I get for putting off a tune-up.
Doesn't Alessandro Contento know about engines?
No, he drives racing cars. It's a far cry from the Tim Lizzie. And I am more than capable of doing it myself.
I know you are, but maybe Alessandro Contento has some expertise.
You know, you don't need to say his full name every single time.
I know. It's just such a delicious name to say. Alessandro Contento. Hello?
Hello.
Mr. West?
Mr. West. I thought we'd be past formalities by now. You did break into my apartment after all.
And I thought we were past bringing that up, considering I apologized with a bottle of gin.
Wow, friend. Sounds like your car's on the fritz. Thought maybe you could use a ride.
That's awfully nice of you. Mary, do you mind if Sebastian gives you a ride to the station?
Oh, that's a very friendly offer, but no, thank you. I can walk.
Suit yourself. See you around, Frankie.
Frankie, I never thought I'd say this, but forget Alessandro Contento.
What are you talking about?
Did you hear how we said the word friend? Talk about delicious.
Mary!
It's a bottle.
why didn't you put this back in the evidence box with the boots?
I panicked. What if someone finds out I compromised evidence? I could be kicked off the force flow.
Well, there's no use in crying over spilled soil. Maybe we can make use of this. Frankie said Logan swore he was never in the park that night. Maybe we can prove he was.
How do we do that?
By matching the soil samples. Grab it and let's go.
Where did Connie say she saw Logan? By the sycamore tree near the fountain. That's the only sycamore I see.
Darn.
What?
No match.
This was a good idea, Flo, but a bit of a long shot. The soil sample from Logan's boot is 3 years old.
Interesting. This soil has manure in it. I'm gonna chat with that fella. You coming? Excuse me.
The dirt on Logan's boot had manure in it.
And we talked to the groundskeeper at the park. It turns out he only fertilizes once a year on his mother's birthday, May 12th.
3 days after Christine Mayfield was murdered.
Logan was already in prison then.
One guess as to how the wrong soil got in his boot.
The cops put it there to incriminate him.
Told you it was big news.
I spoke to Connie again. She's able to pick out Logan from the police lineup.
Well, that's not unusual.
No, but she was sure it was him because of the checkered scarf that he was wearing. The man she saw in the park had a similar one.
Let me guess. She told the police about the scarf in her initial statement.
Exactly. Looks like Lyle rigged the police lineup so that Connie would ID him.
Stinks of evidence tampering.
And it looks like Logan was right. Police were trying to railroad him.
You were right. Logan's innocent. Christine's killer is still out there.
Obviously, you've made a mistake.
We've investigated thoroughly. Logan is not the killer.
We believe the evidence used to convict him was planted.
I hired you to find new evidence, not to refute what the police already have.
Justice works both ways, for Christine and for Logan.
The man's a monster. Even his coworkers at the laundry know it.
That may be, but he's not the killer.
I don't need to be lectured, Miss Drake. Good day, and goodbye.
Well, that's one satisfied client.
Wish I knew why he was so sure it's Logan. There's only one way to prove him wrong.
How?
By finding Christine Mayfield's real killer.
What have you done to my car?
Look, Frankie. Look how it turns and turns. Beautiful, no?
This was supposed to be a simple tune-up. My car is in pieces.
No. Improvements. Look, this was handcrafted by my mechanic in Italy. Your wheels are gonna move with such grace.
The wheels moving was never the problem.
Okay, let's put aside the troubles with your car.
I would love that.
And instead, discuss its clumsy design.
Sandro.
A car should have the sleek lines of a woman's body, not the shape of a deformed animal.
Ford's genius isn't form. It's purpose. He makes cars that are within the means of every man and woman.
Who are you? What do you know about Ford's genius?
You two haven't formally met. Alessandro, this is Sebastian. He just moved his studio into the building. This is Alessandro.
Oh, this is your Odysseus.
He is not a fan of the Tin Lizzie.
Within means or no, functionality without beauty is like wine without the grapes. And Frankie deserves both.
Frankie does deserve the best. Can't argue with you there.
Thank you for the chivalry, gentlemen, but I have a meeting across town in 20 minutes.
20 minutes? No, it's not possible. I need 2-3 hours more.
3 hours? Is your offer for a ride still good?
Of course.
I'll grab Trudy. I'll be right back.
It's very heroic of you to offer a ride. Just make sure. That's the only thing that you offer to my Frankie, huh?
Enjoy your tinkering, signore.
I managed to take a peek at the Mayfield file.
Anything useful?
There was one thing. Turns out Detective Lyle first suspected Christine's boyfriend, a man named Dan Harper. He worked at Hook's Garments. It seems he was the jealous type.
The cops follow up?
No. As soon as Logan was arrested, they stopped investigating Harper.
Was there any mention of Derek Walston in the file?
Walston? No, not that I saw. Hey, gals, is that everything? I really gotta scoot.
Thanks, Mary.
So what do you think? Should we continue on with the investigation?
I think we could afford a day or two, talk to Harper. Should we go?
You go ahead. I'm gonna follow a hunch.
Assuming Alessandro has put my car back together.
Right. What's the hunch?
Walston was all over us about Logan. Why didn't he ever mention anything to the police? That is what I like to hear.
A car should purr like a cat, not make the sound like a wild elephant.
Well, it's running like a top, thanks to you. Those wheels are going to be spinning like an Italian race car.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm only sorry it took so long. You must allow me to make it up.
Oh, you don't have to.
No, I insist. After the pace of my tune-up forced you to ride in that mangia patatas truck, mamma mia.
Sebastian is hardly an idler. He's a carpenter, and a pretty good one.
Oh. Yeah? How about I take you for a drive, so you can see what it's like to ride behind the wheel of a real car?
I would love that. But first, I have a murder to solve.
So how does it feel, knowing your work helped free an innocent man?
Good. Yeah, great, actually. But my work isn't done just because Ernie Logan's out of jail.
What do you mean?
Detective Lyle fabricated evidence to put Logan behind bars, and I won't rest until I've proven it.
Well, how are you going to do that?
Well, I got a pal on the inside.
Do you mean me?
Who else? All I need is proof he accessed the Mayfield evidence after Logan was arrested. I thought you could have a look at the logbook.
Oh, I don't have access to that.
Well, not officially, maybe, but I'm sure you can manage a peek.
Stephen, you're asking me to take an awfully big risk.
I know. So what do you say? Can you have a look at the evidence log for me?
I'll see what I can do.
Mr. Harper? Trudy Clark, I'm a private detective. I'm covering Christine Mayfield's case. Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, sure, if you make it quick. Our boss considers 15 minutes a lunch hour, right?
I'm sure you being so close to Christine, this retrial must be stirring things up.
Most of the things I'm trying to forget.
What made the police suspect you?
Let's just say I'm the jealous type. Christine was a flirt.
You two fought.
All the time. She said being charming to the men at her perfume counter was part of the job. So it got them to buy more for their sweethearts.
You didn't believe that.
Not a word. She got that job and thought she was too good for me. She was all fancy. Best restaurants, spending money on clothes, dry cleaning stupid stuff. I tried to better myself. I went to night school for piano tuning. Nothing changed.
But that made you mad.
I didn't kill her, if that's what you're getting at.
Do you have an alibi?
Christine didn't show up for our date the night she died. Thought she was with another man, so I went and drowned my sorrows.
Where?
A speakeasy on Shooter. What's with all the questions? Who are you working for?
Christine's uncle, Derek Walston, he hired us.
Nice try. Christine doesn't have an uncle. Wherever you are, stay away from me, all right?
If Walston isn't Christine's uncle, then who is he?
More importantly, why do you hire us to investigate her murder?
I don't know. He must be connected in some other way. Who locks their garden shed?
Someone with more to hide than tools. Time to take a look?
You read my mind. Care to join me?
As much as I love a musty old shed, I gotta check out Harper's alibi for the night Christine was killed.
Look.
You too.
What are you doing in here, Shaw?
Oh, nothing. Just doing a little dusting, keeping busy, you know. Oh, is that the Mayfield evidence box?
I'm testifying at the retrial. Need to refresh my memory.
Didn't McIntosh tell you to keep away from that case?
What are you, a spy now?
No. No, not at all.
I sure hope not.
Guys like McIntosh, they're old school. Can't teach you like I can, John.
Well, speaking of teaching, I was wondering about the beer bottle that was found so close to poor Miss Mayfield's body, the one with Logan's fingerprints all over it.
What about it?
Logan was the delivery driver for the bootlegger, so wouldn't his fingerprints be on a lot of beer bottles?
What are you getting at?
Oh, I'm just interested in how it proves he's the killer, that's all.
Alone, it doesn't. You add in the boot prints and the eyewitness, that's a home run. You're asking a lot of questions.
No, I'm just seizing the opportunity to learn. Sorry for bothering you.
Here you go. Do you remember a woman named Maud Vickers? I believe she used to work here.
Yes, I remember Maud. We used to work in the kitchen together. I was shocked when she took her life.
Can you tell me about her?
Well, she wasn't in Toronto long. She didn't like it here. She was nervous, always looking over her shoulder.
Do you have any idea what she was nervous about?
No. Although, there was an older man who would sometimes loiter by the back door when Maud was working.
Was this him?
Yes, I think so. What's this all about, Frankie?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Extensor carpi radialis brevis, extensor digiti minimi, palmaris brevis.
You know I never mind being your anatomical guinea pig, but what can you tell me about Maud Vickers?
Maud Vickers found drowned in Smalls Pond, July 21st, 1919. Ruled a suicide, but I'm not so sure.
Why is that?
The water in her lungs had no bacterial content in it.
Water from a pond would have bacteria from the algae.
Exactly. It seemed like municipal water to me. There's no way she drowned in any pond.
It wasn't a suicide. Can you do me a favor and pull Christine Mayfield's lab results?
Sure. You think the two cases are related? Okay. Let's see here. This is the sample is crystal clear. There's no bacterial content.
Both women are small-boned, brunette, and they look a lot alike.
So it's possible
Christine wasn't the killer's first victim.
Let's say the same man kills Maud and Christine. What's the common denominator?
Sometimes a similar look is enough for a killer. So you still suspect Woolston? He did lie about being Christine's uncle.
Well, that's not a crime, and neither is keeping newspaper clippings.
No, but keeping them in secret is a little bit suspicious. Plus, Aylin said that he was hanging around Kwan's during the time that Maud was working there.
All right, let's say he did kill her. Why shine a light on himself by hiring us to investigate Christine's murder?
So Logan goes back to jail and he's off the hook.
I don't buy it. Harper, on the other hand,
The jealous boyfriend.
I checked his alibi. No one can confirm it. And the beer that they found at the crime scene, It's his brand.
So what's his connection to Maud?
Well, it's not a rabbit, Frankie, but I got something.
A rabbit?
Oh, you had to be there. I think I figured out what Christine was tied up with. Piano wire. That helpful?
Sure is. Harper was studying to be a piano tuner.
Sounds like a fit to me.
Not necessarily. This looks like the same wire that I saw in Wilson's shed.
Oh, it's used for all kinds of things. My father tied his lures with it. Good for toothy fish, he used to say.
My money is still on the piano tuner. I'm gonna go talk to Harper.
I'll go talk to Walston.
Be careful, both of you. Whoever used this on Christine is a dangerous man.
Excuse me, is Dan...
Thought I told you to stay away from here.
So you grabbed Christine before you tied her up in the park that night?
What the hell are you talking about?
Christine was tied up with piano wire. Isn't that convenient?
I told you I had nothing to do with what happened. Yeah, we fought, but I loved her. I thought we were gonna get married until she won that competition.
What competition?
When we met, Christine was working in the kitchen at Mr. Eaton's restaurant. He had a contest to promote some perfume. She won and then got all high and mighty.
Look, that's a nice story, but you're not off the hook. You have means and motive.
You need to leave me alone. Things can get really rough for you. You hear me?
Be careful if I were you. A man could get arrested for threatening a lady.
I like Steven, I do. But I'm afraid Lyle might be on to me, and I don't know, something about it just feels wrong, Flo.
But you break the rules for Frankie all the time.
That's different.
How so?
Frankie's a friend.
What's Steven, a bass of fish?
No. But that's just my point. I don't know what he is. I could just be a source of information for him.
Well, first of all, no one takes just a source of information for dinner at Chez Rodolfo.
I suppose.
And let's forget Steven for a second. Just go with me. If there's a detective at the station who's crooked, don't you want to know?
Well, of course I do.
And just because you look at the logbook doesn't mean you have to tell Steven what you saw.
So you think I should lie to him?
Oh, no, I'm not saying that.
I don't get it.
Well, I'm just saying, take it a step at a time. Ew. Yeah.
Logan was arrested on May 10th. I'm so sorry, sir. I was just lost in my thoughts.
What seems to be the trouble?
Detective, what would happen, say, if it was discovered that an officer had planted evidence?
Well, do you believe such a thing is happening, Mary?
No, I'm not saying that. It's just been on my mind since you told Detective Lyle to keep away from the Mayfield case, and with the retrial coming up and all.
I'm impressed with your concern, Mary, but you needn't worry. The I's are all dotted and the T's are all crossed on that one. I made sure myself.
Well, that is a relief. All right, well, thank you. Good night, sir.
I terminated our business arrangement, Miss Drake. So why did you drag me away from my dinner table?
Did you kill Maud Vickers because she refused your advances?
I don't know who or what you're talking about.
What about Christine Mayfield? Did she remind you of Maud?
I don't need to listen to this.
You tried to use me. You wanted me to get Logan convicted to get you off the hook.
No. I wanted Logan convicted because he murdered both of them, Christine and Maud. Maud. My lovely girl.
You two are lovers.
She was such a gentle soul. And she's dead because of me.
Why don't you sit down and tell me what happened?
Maud told me about some
laundryman who was delivering to Kwan's, who was following her. I said it was her imagination. I dismissed her concerns. And she was found dead in that pond the next day. I said it was suicide. But I never believed them.
Did you go to the police?
No. I was worried that if our affair came out, it would jeopardize my marriage. And by then, it wasn't as if I would bring back Maud. But then...
The same thing happened to Christine.
In the exact manner that happened to my Maud. I knew it was the same man.
Logan.
Yes. He was the delivery man that was making Maud afraid. I was positive that he had killed them both, but I needed the police to be able to prove it.
So what did you do?
I confided in a police officer that I knew from church. I told him the story. He believed me. He got Logan arrested. But the case against him wasn't strong enough to guarantee a conviction.
So he planted evidence. What was this officer's name?
I couldn't give you that.
Well, then I can't help you.
Please, Miss Drake. I know I don't deserve it, but I am begging for your help.
If you won't tell me the officer's name who planted the evidence, the only other thing you can do is go to the police and tell them what happened to Maud.
And do you really think that will help convict Logan?
I do.
Then I will speak up for Maud. And if that's the end of my marriage, so be it.
Look, just go home, talk to your wife. She might be more accepting than you realize. Come back here tomorrow and we'll go to the police together.
Thank you, Miss Drake. I'll be here by 11.
Okay.
Miss Clark.
Mr. Walston? What was that about?
It's a long story. Pour yourself a drink.
So Logan killed both of them?
Looks like it. That's why we need to make sure he gets nailed at the retrial.
We need to start over.
I've asked Mary to take another look at the evidence to see what's legit and what's not. I'm gonna go back to the laundry and have another chat with Logan.
All right. I'll try Connie again. We should really get some information about that first murder of Maud Vickers.
That's why Walston's statement is so critical.
Checking to make sure the I's are dotted on the evidence you planted.
What?
You entered that boot print into evidence. I saw the logbook.
Yeah, I collected the boot prints. What's that got to do with planting evidence?
They were made 3 days after Christine Mayfield was killed, that's what.
You're letting your imagination run away, Mary. Besides, no one could know something like that.
That's where you're wrong, Detective McIntosh. That boot print you collected has manure in it, and the groundskeeper at the park only fertilizes once a year, on May 12th.
You don't understand.
I think I do.
Christine Mayfield wasn't Logan's first victim. 5 years ago, he murdered a woman not much older than you. He's a cold-blooded killer.
He still deserves a fair trial.
Nothing about police work is straightforward, Mary. You'll learn that with time.
Planting evidence is your brand of police work. I'm not sure you should be a member of this force.
What are you saying, Mary? You're not gonna report me, are you?
And let's try again. Maybe this time, close your eyes.
You're wasting your time. I don't remember anything new about that night.
You and Christine are walking towards the park. It's twilight. You see a little.
Yes, but things on the street look more like shapes than clear objects.
That's all right. Now, what do you remember?
A couple leave the park. They have a dog. A terrier.
Good. Which way are they walking?
I don't know. I can't see them now.
Why not?
There's a truck parked in the way.
Towards the entrance of the park?
Yes.
Any markings on the truck?
It's black. And I think there are sacks in the back.
Okay, and what's in them?
Flour or... No, I think it's laundry. I'd forgotten all about the dog in the truck. Was that helpful?
Very. Thanks, Connie.
So, Mr. Logan's not here?
No, thank God.
He does seem like a bit of a creep.
Aren't they all?
Did he leave any of his things here?
Sure. Mr. Thistlewood never even cleaned out his locker.
Do you mind if I take a look?
If you're quick. Hey, did he really kill that girl?
I can't say. But if I were you, I'd look for another job.
Follow me. That stie's his. It's not locked. He and Mr. Thistle would like to go fishing, take off to the dawn and leave me with everything.
My father tied his lures with it. Good for toothy fish, he used to say.
That's funny.
Why's that?
Ernie doesn't drink gin. Says it's a lady's drink.
Connie remembered seeing a laundry delivery truck at the scene. It's something. You?
Found some piano wire and a half-empty bottle of gin in Logan's locker. I'm guessing Christine's fingerprints are going to be all over it.
Okay, so far so good. All we need is Mr. Wollston. Where is he?
Yeah, he should have been here by now.
You think his wife talked him out of giving a statement?
He seemed pretty adamant about coming forward, even if it did wreck his marriage.
Well, we need him here. He's the key to nailing Logan.
Maybe we aren't the only ones who know that.
What's your plan, Logan? You're looking at it. This won't help you.
It's a little late to pretend you care about what's good for me.
You won't get away with it. Shooting a respectable man isn't the same as faking a poor girl's suicide.
Shut up!
Why are you doing this?
You know why, Wollston.
Please, just let me go.
I can't do that. If you just left me alone.
You killed the woman I loved.
I didn't kill anyone until now!
Don't.
Why not? You're not gonna stop dogging me until I'm at the end of a noose, isn't that right? Why couldn't you just let me live my life?
Put the gun down, Mr. Logan.
You.
I said put it down.
You're as bad as he is.
We can talk about this calmly.
You're both railroading me.
Stop! Frankie! Don't do it.
No. Let him. He won't stop hounding me.
You killed what? An innocent girl, and then another?
I did not. I only ever saw that girl once. And Christine, I never laid eyes on.
So you admit to seeing Maud Vickers?
Sure, dropping off stuff for Quants. Bert told me hands off. I only saw that girl one time. And then she was dead.
Here.
Frankie, Christine's boyfriend said something funny. He said that she spent lots of money on dry cleaning. Didn't think much of it until...
He and Mr. Thistle would like to go fishing, take off to the dawn and leave me with everything.
It wasn't him.
But...
Give me the gun, okay? It wasn't him. Don't let them leave.
You sure I can't convince you? A couple days in Niagara Falls. No one need be the wiser.
No, thank you.
You know, Miss Ohanian, sometimes I wonder how much you value your job.
Good thing she values her life more. We should get out of here.
What are you talking about?
Maud Vickers. Sweet young thing. She would come in here and drop off things from Kwan's. Christine Mayfield, she came in here as well, and you know, she looked a lot like Maud.
The police have the man who killed her.
No, they have the man that you framed. I think that you hinted to Mr. Walston that Ernie was a bad egg. You planted the seed that it was him, and everyone looked exactly where you wanted them to.
Prove it.
I don't need to. There's more than enough for the police to take a good, hard look at you, and I don't think they're gonna like what they find, do you? That's one way to press charges.
Laundry room Lothario murders 2. I'm surprised the Workers' Gazette is in the murder business.
Hey, even a socialist has to pay the bills, huh? So, did you manage to have a look at the logbook? I'm sure it was Lyle that planted that evidence.
I did, but I wasn't able to find anything. Seems the cops closed ranks.
Huh. Same old story. Cops covering for other cops.
I guess. Are we still on for Saturday?
Of course. You're my gal, aren't you?
Lyle, on the tab. Seems I screwed that one up.
Detective Lyle, hello.
Seems I was looking at the wrong man the whole time.
Well, at least the right one's free. Excuse me.
You hear about McIntosh? He resigned. Or either that or he got fired.
Fired? Why?
Seems he planted evidence. Someone found out.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that.
Funny that. He says you did. Maybe I was right about you investigating a fellow officer. Maybe I was just wrong about the one you were investigating.
Impressive. Paid in full?
How'd it work out with his wife?
Well, he wanted to pay us before his divorce went through.
Good for her. Hop in. You're kidding.
Alessandro wanted me to see what it's like to drive a real car.
Wait, you know to drive this thing?
We'll find out.